Hey, what up? It's Alistair. I'm here to talk shit. So we're going to talk about gear, wrestling gear. Are you a wrestler? If so, buy some fucking gear. You are not John Moxley. You are not Mick Foley. You are not one of those few, the exceptions that can get away with not wearing gear. Especially if you're just starting out, especially if, you're trying to break in or actually get booked somewhere consistently. Having gear is a necessity. I don't say this purely out of the goodness of my heart because I make wrestling gear. But, that being said, you need to give yourself every advantage because wrestling is super arbitrary. There's a bunch of just unnecessary bullshit that comes with it that's held onto as tradition or fucking whatever. You just need to get ahead of all of that if you want a spot. So, personal anecdote, which conveniently proves my point, provides evidence for my point. Not long ago, I went up to Newcastle Pro Wrestling. Great promotion, put on wonderful shows. It's their City Hall show. I'd been helping out there for a little while. I'd had, by this point, one pre-show spot with them. And so I went there, and it was the Rumble show. And, fucking Rumble spots, Rumble shows, great time to turn up and help out. Because there's usually there's 30 people in a Rumble. Fucking one of them's gonna get sick, or forget they were booked, or forget to buy a plane ticket, or just not turn up. There'll be a spot going. So up I went there, found out there's going to be a Battle Royal before the Royal Rumble, which fucking whatever. Great. So I get a spot in that. And we're all gearing up, calling our match, and Booker comes out the back, and he's looking around, and he goes, where is X-Wrestler? X-Wrestler had not been told that he was booked for the show. There were spots planned for this guy. There was stuff for him to do. Just no one told him to turn up. So, he wasn't coming. And so there was a spot in the Rumble. The actual fucking, 30 to 1, 90 seconds Rumble. So, looks around the back. I am not in my best gear. I am in, my most MMA fightery gear. Because I knew I'd have, not a huge amount of time to get the character across. That was what I wore. This was a mistake, because he looked around and saw somebody in stuff that I had made, whose, stuff looked shinier and looked better. He's like, nice fit, bro. You're in the fucking Rumble. You're number 27 or whatever. So off he went, and he was in the main Royal Rumble. There you go. What a guy. Great stuff. Not bad. No, that's fine. It's wrestling. I still got a spot. I got now my second favorite thing I've done in wrestling. Because I got a really cool elimination on me that I really liked doing. So, that happened. And from this, you need to draw out that you need nice gear. So, where do you get nice gear? Do not buy random items of clothing that are costume items or other athletic wear to wear as a wrestler. It always looks off. If I see somebody out there in fucking volleyball knee pads or jeans or some tights that they got from Spotlight that are sparkly, and I look at that and I think, you did not put in the effort. You didn't put in the time. You don't know what you're doing. Why, this is me just as a gimmick, just as a fucking wrestler. I don't like to look at other people and go, oh, this indie as fuck dude in his kick pads. No, I don't do that shit. But I look at people and I go, did you put in the effort? And if I don't see actual gear, made for wrestling, I see that and I think, is that the attitude that all promoters are going to take? No. But do you want to take that chance? Do you want to miss out on those opportunities? Because, you got to get the treadmill going. You got to get rolling. You got to build up momentum. You got to have no excuses because if it comes down to you and somebody else, you want to have no reasons why they would look at you and pick somebody else. So, get nice gear. So don't buy costume items or random other items of athletic wear. Doesn't look like you're a professional wrestler. Do you go to the big website, to highspots.com, and buy stuff? Maybe. But don't get... Alright, if you want to go to Highspots and you want to buy in-stock Highspot stuff, which they have, so they have their custom stuff and then they have their in-stock stuff, don't get the stuff that's patterned. Because there's millions of fucking pro wrestlers out there. Millions of indie wrestlers out there. Some of them are wearing Highspot stuff. And enough of them have been wearing Highspot stuff over the years that I can look at a pair of shorts, or a pair of tights, or a pair of kick pads from Highspots and go, fucking Highspots gear. Get the fuck out. And that can be a reason for not picking somebody. Now again, not actually booking a show, but because I am aesthetically fucking tuned into this stuff, that is where I would come from. That's a reason why a booker will look at you and go, not you, this guy that I already know, or not you, this guy who's got nicer gear. You don't want that. Now, if you want to get something from Highspots, just get their plain stuff. Plain purple, black, red, fucking whatever. Appropriate colours for your character. Or like plain with banding, so... where are we? Yeah, that'll do. So... Like, this is not Highspots, this is my custom stuff that I make for myself, but these are plain purple shorts with white banding. If you get something like this from Highspots, it's not identifiable as a Highspots. Look, you won't get that stigma attached to it of, fucking Highspots gear. There is another website, eLucha. Don't buy their stuff. It's shit. It's really bad. The vinyl on the kick pads flakes. It's just low quality. It doesn't survive the rigors of wrestling. It's costume gear, and you don't want that. So, you can also buy custom gear from Highspots. Don't. For the price that they charge for stuff, you're better off going to a gear maker, because they will do a better job. They'll probably do it faster. They'll probably give you better communication. And it'll look better in the end. So, in my opinion, if you're getting from Highspots, get the in-stock. Order with a bunch of friends so that you save money on shipping. But, I would prefer if you didn't. I'd prefer if you go to a gear maker. But, you're not doing this for me. If that's what you can afford, that's what you do. That's fine. It'll get you by. But we're not about getting by. We're about maximum output, minimum effort. Go to a gear maker. If you are currently training wrestling, and it's kind of that time where it looks like you're going to debut soon, ask someone you wrestle with, where did you get your gear done? And then go there. Or, failing that, open up Instagram and search wrestling gear. You will see makers. Just tons of them. Go most recent and work your way down that list. There you go. Each maker will have different requirements on what they want from you before they'll agree to take you on, or they'll only have their books open for a certain period of time because they fill up with orders and then close up their books and then make all of those. Different for every maker. I know Craven Knight, Break Knight, he needs you to have full designs done and renders. Because once you're making gear, if you're quality, you'll fill up pretty quickly. You'll end up making as much stuff as you can make. And so it comes to a point where you need to start gatekeeping, literally, who you let in. And you got to make the job easier on yourself. So I do not have that luxury. If you come to me with an idea, yeah, I'll make that work. Or I might send you away to go and get designs done, but you'll be on my list. Craven Knight, he's got the luxury of going, you fuck off until you've got designs done. And that's fine. He's allowed to do that. Who else is there that I know of? There's Black County Beast if you're in England, or Vic Stitch. In Australia, there's tons. There's Dinky Die. There's Luna Wrestling Gear. There's Lex Seamstress. There's myself. So at GC Wrestling Gear. GCC Wrestling Gear, sorry. There's tons of people. There's enough. There's enough to make all the gear in the world. And there's people trying it out, so you might not, when you go around and ask at your wrestling show, there might be someone who's like, oh, I'm just starting out, can I make your stuff? And then you'll be able to get a deal that way. Might not be as good. I've seen that recently with some people getting stuff in my old promotion that I was with, that's fine. The person was learning, and the people who got it from them got it cheaper. So there you go. That's how I started out. I made Big Fudge a set of free kick pads and knee pads. I just ate that to like learn how, do it for someone who was differently sized to me, and like gain the experience. And then from that, every job after that was paid. So you might find that person too. But yeah, look, it's not hard. And it will step up. It makes it that easier. It makes it easier to get over that hump of somebody looking at you who doesn't know you, who might not have any other reason to book you. They might see you in nice gear and go, yeah, that guy will fucking do. Let's pull him up. Alright, cool. Yeah, that's about it. Designs. Alright, yeah, we'll go very quickly into like levels of gearness. So, when you're first starting out, there is no point getting $10,000 Will Ospreay fucking gear. Like, if you're coming out for 45 seconds in the pre-show in just the most pimping tights you've ever seen, what the fuck's the point? You look like a tryhard. Like, it's better off getting nicely designed stuff that's simple. And so, like, as a maker, I'm gonna, like, talk complexities. Stuff with like simple banding around the outside, so like a solid color with something else as a detail on it, very easy to make. Starting again because that fucking dropped out. So, solid color with like simple banding or something like that, super easy. If someone orders, solid color with a waistband and leg holes that are different colors, I'll have that knocked out in a day, very easy. Simple text, so 1 or 2 letters, not hard as well, won't break the bank. So I think for like starting out, getting something in a solid color, maybe a stripe up the side, maybe fucking monogrammed, that's like custom enough and looks like it's yours. You don't need to fucking go apeshit with designs and logos and hyper-complex garbage all over it when you can just do enough to make it look like yours. So, I think, like, something that is that I have are these that I made for myself. So, these are based on the shorts that Jean-Claude wore at the end of Bloodsport. So, let's get the whole things in. They're plain black, fog finish with a gold sash around the waist and 2 letters. If I was to do these for somebody, 80-ish dollars, I think. So that's Australian dollars. So what, like 60 maybe American, if I was being generous to our exchange rate at the moment. It's like between 40 and 60 American, depending on whatever. You'll probably charge more, because I'm on the low end of, like, charging people for stuff. But still, that's like a reasonable pair of shorts. And those will last, because I double layer all my stuff, and I stitch all my seams flat, and I do everything I can to make sure that my gear lasts and doesn't fall apart. And that's something you really want to avoid. So, if you're getting gear, solid colors, maybe a stripe, maybe monogrammed. That's like best bang for your buck in terms of customizability. Once you get into lots of letters, full words, full names, fancy swirly fucking fonts, this just stacks up and up and up and up and up. So, again, these would be around 80 to 100-ish dollars. So 40 to 60 US. Like, pretty simple, very good. But if I wanted to write Alistair Fleming on the back, I'm adding hours of work to the gear maker. And those hours have to be paid for. Okay, so if I'm applicating, I'll describe the process to you so you understand. It's not just fucking magic. I don't just magic up the fucking letters and have them magically stuck on. Even if I do heat transfer vinyl, which I don't like doing because I find it peels. But yeah, if I'm applicating on, so the way that I do this fucking patch, I'm gonna carry them up closer. We're gonna zoom. We're gonna focus. I got the manual focus on. That's my head. Where are you? There you are. Cool. You can see that it's a fabric piece that has been zigzag stitched on. That little patch there was about an extra hour. So, I need to be slightly more zoomy. That's worse. Fuck. Oh, whatever. I guess I'm sitting here now. That's an extra hour, like, for 2 letters. Or for a letter and a kanji. I have to do that up on the computer, print it out on a piece of paper, cut out the piece of paper, spray adhere that piece of paper to the back of the fabric, cut around that, hopefully, making sure I don't make any mistakes, cut through any letters or anything like that, peel off that paper, stick it on the other side of a piece of paper, spray adhere that, stick it down, peel that off so it all doesn't like stretch around as I apply it, and then stitch that down, which is like 2 or 3 stitches at a time and much thinner than I normally stitch. It's fucking hard. It adds so much time, and every letter that you add to a word will increase how much it costs. Now, let's say if I was to do that with heat transfer vinyl, it's less manually intensive, but I need to do the design up in the computer, take that design over to whatever program I'm using with my vinyl cutter, apply the vinyl to the fucking cutting board, run that through, hope it doesn't fuck up for whatever reason, because the machine's really dumb. It just goes, I'm gonna cut to these coordinates. It doesn't know if something comes loose or anything like that. So, do all of that, weed that, heat press it on, and then I still have to stitch around to make sure it doesn't fucking come off on you. If I screen print, which is something that I do that I think is like a fucking, differentiating factor of my gear, is that I can screen print, whereas not every gear maker can. So that's screen printed on, that little design there, my little logo. This one was photo emulsioned, so I had to do the design up, print that out on transparency, cover a screen in emulsion, put the transparency on top of the screen, take that out in the sun, stand around for 1.5 minutes and hope that it fucking applied, wash it out, hope that only the hole washes out, not the rest of the screen, and then screen print it and make sure it doesn't end up fucking blurry. Because if it ended up blurry, I'd have to start all over again, like that piece of fabric's gone. All letters, logos, all that shit adds tons of effort and tons of time. And even, like, if it doesn't add time, it requires specialist equipment. So, like, the Applicating thing, that's like the least manual, that's like the least specialized thing. Way of applying a design to a fabric. It like takes tons of time, whereas the vinyl cutter is a $400 to $600 machine, Australian, so or whatever, divided by 0.75. Screen printing, I need to do up a screen, so if I haven't got one spare, I need a fucking saw and a power drill and enough timber and some timber screws, the fucking fabric for the screen, a staple gun, equipment. If I'm doing just purely, what's the fucking thing called? Sublimation. So sublimation, I can, if I got a special printer that's fucking however many $100, special ink that's however many $100, print that out on special paper that fucking costs whatever, heat press that, with a heat press is, mine's $240, but that's like the cheapest one you could find. You're paying for that equipment in chunks. Like, every piece of gear that I make with, the heat press or fucking whatever, it has to pay for that piece of equipment. Monogram. That's all you need. Or simple designs. Simple logos. Monocolor logos are best. Like, you got to think about how the gear has to be made. And I don't think... It's not necessarily a graphic designer's fault. Quite often when people are giving instructions to a graphic designer, they don't tell them like how the end product is going to be made. And so the graphic designer goes, oh yeah, I can put a gradient of colors in there. If I have like, let's say this print on my shirt, it's just plain one color. If I'd taken this to a graphic designer and said, I want Mega Bundle in front of the world and I want it to start on red and go through all the colors of the rainbow over here, and I want that to be a smooth gradient, how the fuck does a screen printer make that and make it look good? Well, I know how they'd have to do it, but it's expensive. It's fucking time. It's effort intensive. Simple stuff. Simple colors. Simple designs. Maximum fucking, like, output for minimum time, money, effort. That's what you want with gear. So, I hope that this rant has been helpful. No idea if it is. This is like the 5th time I've fucking recorded this. My low effort fucking content has in fact turned into high effort content. Fuck. Yeah, cool. See you all next time.